Okay, we should be live. I think we're live. Let's have a look. Yeah, I had some trouble starting this one. Yeah, we're live. Yes, big up to you guys, man. Just a quick one, really. Nothing too crazy. Big up to Brandon. Yeah, had some trouble starting this one, but it's all good. Unrivaled boxing talk. Big up to you, sir. Hopefully you're keeping well. Yeah, had a bit of trouble starting it, so yeah, man. Just a quick one, really. Just some regular boxing talk. Nothing too crazy. Friday tomorrow, nearly the end of a week. Been a long one, man. Been a long one. So looking forward to the weekend, no doubt about it. Looking forward to the weekend. How about you guys? Yes, I saw that. Yeah, Zili Zhang signed with Triller. Yeah, I saw that. I saw Boxing Squared's video on that one. Yeah, I mean, Zili Zhang, big tall dude, 6'7", 6'8", whatever he is, southpaw. I don't particularly rate him all that highly, to tell you the truth. I felt he lost to Jerry Forrest. Or not lost, but, he looked terrible in that fight. Took a lot of punishment, got hurt towards the end. Gas tank looked a bit dodgy. Zili Zhang, to me, is just what he is, really. He's a bit of a gimmick, really. Big 6'7", 6'8" Chinese heavyweight. I don't really see any potential there, to tell you the truth. I expect him to get cashed out at some point. Maybe Michael Hunter, obviously. Now Michael Hunter is with Triller. Don't be surprised to see that fight, Michael Hunter versus Zili Zhang. Yes, big up to G-Man. Salute to G-Man. Salute to Del Nomo, Eddie Hearn, Leaf Sky, and Adam Smith is contemplating life today. Was a good day. Indeed, bro. Indeed. Totally agree, G-Man. I'm looking forward to it, mate. I'm looking forward to it, seeing how it pans out. Thing I'm looking forward to most is actually the commentary team, the punditry. That needs a big improvement. Sky Sports in recent years, the commentary, all in all, is poor. From an analytical standpoint, it's poor. Virtue signaling from the likes of Adam Smith and whatnot. Sky Sports commentary has been poor for a number of years now. So hopefully the Zone can get some genuine boxing personnel in and give us some good analysis, really. I mean, I want to see guys like Paulie Malignaggi get a gig on the Zone, for example. I wouldn't mind seeing more of Andy Lee, who I don't mind on commentary and punditry. As long as we don't get Tony Bellew, as long as we don't get Matthew Macklin, as long as we don't get Adam Smith, that's good enough for me. Good enough for me. Big up to Haitian Sensation, my man. Salute to you, sir. And big up to the MXBC as always, man. Give us some good value bets, Derek. I can't tell you, bro. I've not been looking at betting, bro. I've not been looking at it, to tell you the truth. Yeah, maybe they're going to make Zili Zhang versus Michael Hunter as a co-main event on Triller. Yeah, I can see that. Haitian Sensation. I can see that. It would make sense, wouldn't it? It would make sense. Essentially, that's all Zili Zhang's there for. He's unbeaten. He's a bit of a gimmick. And yeah, he's going to get cashed out to a more talented heavyweight. Have you seen Spiral yet? No, I've still not seen it, bro. I've still not seen it. I need to see it because I do like Saw, so I need to see it. Who's Usyk signed with? I'm not sure currently, I'm not sure whether he still has any relationship with K2. I know his contract with Matchroom ran out, so I'm presuming he's still with K2. I'm not sure, really, to tell you the truth. Vote for me. What are you talking about, Unrivaled? I'm not sure what you're talking about, bro. The 90s, big up to you, sir. Hopefully you're keeping well on this fine Thursday evening. It's hot and sticky in the UK. Nice weather. So it's all good, bruv. It's all good. I remember people were hyping up Tyson Dong. I even remember somebody said Tyson would beat Luis Ortiz. I laughed so hard. I remember that guy, yeah. He was useless, Brandon. Absolutely useless. Okay, so it's a tweet. I'll have a look at it after this then. Unrivaled. I'll retweet it for you. I'll retweet it. Looks like my boy AJ's doing everything in his power not to fight Usyk. Yeah, I mean, listen, bro. At the end of the day, we don't know yet. But the red flags from Eddie Hearn are a big concern for me. You know, I want to see that fight. I think it's a good fight. I think it's intriguing. Usyk brings something completely different to the table. And ultimately, it's the best fight available for Joshua. So I want to see it, man. I want to see it. And hopefully it does happen. If it doesn't happen, it's a bad look. I mean, that's all you can really say, man. It's a bad look. Okay. So it's on Twitter. Oh, yeah, I'll look at it after, bro. Big up to Cone Gaming. Big up to Crazy D3. I don't play with dolls like De La Hoya. Has Usyk versus Joshua officially been announced? Nope. There's been an extension on the negotiation time period. That's what has happened. Wilder's coming out again with a BS, slandering Mark Breland and Fury. I can't wait for him to get destroyed by Fury. Unpopular opinion, I don't really care who wins that fight. Part of me wants to see Joshua and Fury both lose just for the lols. I don't really care, to be honest, man. I don't really care. I really don't care all that much, but I think Tyson's going to win again. Thoughts on Lomachenko versus Nakatani? I really like the fight. Cone Gaming, I like the fight. In terms of skill for skill, Lomachenko is light years above Nakatani. But Nakatani brings that height, that reach, that size, that relentlessness. Physically, he's a tough fight for Lomachenko, and I think he'll make it a tough fight. I think Lomachenko wins, but I don't think it's an easy night. I think it's a good comeback fight. Friendly reminder, don't let success get to your head or failure get to your heart. Facts. 100%. 100%. That's when you can see the true nature of any person, if they are going through tremendous periods of success or tremendous low periods. I think that's when you can really see a person for who he or she is. But yeah, smash the like. Indeed, official. Officials out here reminding you guys, man. Big up to official. Crazy D3, he says, unrivaled, your knowledge is fantastic, but you've got a face for radio. Come on, Crazy D3. There's a... Listen, I'd rather see Mark on the zone than fucking Matthew Macklin, put it that way. Thoughts on YouTubers trying to take over the sport of boxing? It's one of those things, really, man. I mean, me personally, to me, it's just a symptom of where the sport is at right now. If boxing was delivering year on, year out, and we was getting the good fights all of the time, these guys wouldn't have a place to fight in boxing. There wouldn't be a space for these guys. But, you know, boxing fans, we're fucked around so much. Certain fights don't happen. And boxing really is a broken sport in a lot of ways. So things like this are always going to happen. To me, I don't blame Logan Paul. I don't blame Jake Paul for stepping in boxing and making a big paycheck. I don't blame them. Boxing's allowed that to happen. It's a boxing problem. It's not Jake Paul or Logan Paul or KSI. Better be a warrior in the garden than a gardener in the war. Poundland Muhammad Ali. Yeah. I heard it's the Ruiz rematch. Don't know where Ruiz lies in any of the belt mandatory positions. Yeah, that would be a... If it was Ruiz, it would be a voluntary defense. And I've got no interest whatsoever in that fight. I know Joshua and Ruiz are 1-1. You know, Ruiz won the first fight, Joshua the second. But, I mean, the second fight, Andy Ruiz turned up like a fat fucking slob, even more so than usual. Stunk the joint out, barely threw a punch, slow as a snail. A pathetic performance from Andy Ruiz. And in his comeback, yeah, he's lost a bit of weight, but he went life and death with a shot to shit Chris Arreola, a guy who Deontay Wilder beat down 4 or 5 years ago with one arm. I've got no interest in a Andy Ruiz rematch, none whatsoever. Andy, in my opinion, Andy needs to fight Luis Ortiz. I think that's a perfect fight for him. Big up to Mad Chad Boxing and Sports. Salute to you, sir. Usyk is still with K2, at least for now, despite Usyk not being satisfied with K2. Yeah. That's what I thought. Sky and Adam Smith had time to line up a replacement for Matchroom. Is the lack of an announcement any indication that they're pulling out of regular scheduled fight cards, just pay-per-view? Yeah, I think they're going to be very selective, J-Dev. Obviously, I think they'll retain Anthony Joshua for pay-per-view. But apart from that, I think they're going to work with everybody, really. They'll take up certain cards that they deem TV-friendly. And yeah, they'll be working with a whole host of promoters, in my opinion. I don't think they're going to sign any exclusive deal. Yes, hit the like, indeed. Smash that fucking like. I forgot to say I was happy when Brentford got promoted on Saturday. Yeah, that's a nice story. Yeah. Got to respect Brentford, how they've come up. Thoughts on Usyk teasing Lomachenko Sr. Collaboration for possible Joshua fight. I never saw that Haitian sensation. Never saw it, mate, so I need to check that out. But I don't think Usyk can go wrong there. Okay, so his contract was about to expire. That's it, man. That's the dream team. G-Man, Del Boy, and Mark for his own YouTube commentary. Indeed. Indeed. I'm not sure Cone Gaming because, from what I understand, that was on the undercard of Munguia versus Selecki. Apparently, that fight's fallen through again, so I've got no idea. No idea at all. Let's be real, lads. It's Bellew, Parker, and Juggear, Spencer Oliver getting the Matchroom jobs. Yeah, I hope you're wrong. That's another guy I can't stand, by the way. Spencer Oliver. Useless. Nonito Donaire was amazing at the weekend as well, went largely unnoticed because it was PBC. I'll tell you what, man. The last couple of PBC fight cards have been really good. Obviously, you had the Figueroa Neri card, really enjoyable. And the Donaire Ubali card was really good. So PBC right now coming off two good cards. Two real good cards, in my opinion. And yeah, Donaire, what can you say about Nonito Donaire? Oldest bantamweight champion of all time, 3-time bantamweight champion. Guy's resume is stellar, 38 years old, still putting people to sleep. All the respect in the world for Donaire. Great fighter, man. Great champion, great role model. Carries himself like a gentleman and fights like a fucking savage. What's not to like about Nonito Donaire? Guy's given his heart and soul to the sport, given us fights we all want to see, even fighting above weight classes when, you know, he was never really a featherweight, but he was still taking on these guys like Cole Frampton, Nicholas Walters. Guy's a fucking absolute gangster, Nonito Donaire. All the respect in the world to Donaire. And also, shout out to my boy Subriel Mathias on the undercard. He's fastly becoming one of my favourite fighters, man. That guy is pure violence. Pure fucking violence. John Wishkushin is taking up Sky Boxing head roll according to Fish Eyes. BT have Frank Vendazone with Eddie. Hopefully that means weekly cards in the UK. Fingers crossed, man. Yeah, fingers crossed. Yep, indeed. Could Bektomir Malakuziev take over the light heavyweight division? Tell you the truth, man, I think he needs to go to 168. I think he might be a bit too small for light heavyweight. But we shall see. I think he's a very talented fighter. I like him a lot. Big up to Levi Khan, straight out of NYC, dropping by to show support. Smash the like, Levi. Del, do you think this is karma for how Sky have handled themselves in recent years with poor cards and commentary? I don't think it's karma, man. I think it was, you know, as soon as DAZN come into the market, I think this was all, the writing was always on the wall, I think. A lot of people were speculating. And yeah, I just think it's a natural progression, really. But I'm hoping to see an increase in the level of quality on these Matchroom UK shows. I really am. Eddie Hearn's talking big about Fight Camp. He's saying it's going to be 10 times better than the previous Fight Camp. So we shall see. Looks like Golovkin versus Murata in Tokyo on New Year's Eve special. I can see Murata doing well there and Ben getting hurt. I agree. It's a good fight, CM Fox, especially at this stage when Golovkin's basically 40. Murata is a strong dude, power in both hands. Technically, he's pretty sound technically, pretty aggressive. I think those two guys are going to meet head on and have a bit of a war. It's going to be a good fight. Yeah, Jason Rosario, Erickson Lubin. I like that fight a lot. Cone Gaming. Really hard fight to call. Obviously, Jason Rosario coming off a knockout loss. Erickson Lubin got knocked out against Charlo a few years ago, but to me, on the comeback, Erickson Lubin hasn't really looked all that convincing. I actually think Erickson Lubin's going to win that fight. Yeah, I agree, Brandon. I agree. Nordic, the guy who does the interviews. Inoue versus Donaire 2 needed. I'd like to see it. Will Matchroom put on better, worse, or the same cards on the Zone versus Sky? I think the first few are going to be better because they're going to want to hit the ground running, right? I think the first few, like Fight Camp, will be good, but it's whether they can stay consistent. That's what we've got to be looking for here. It's whether they can stay consistent. We'll see. I'm not sure. Evening Delboy, what's your thoughts on Jarrett Hurd? I mean, fun fighter, but guy's been in no man's land for a lot of time now since he lost to Julian Williams. And in his couple of fights since, not looked too good. So he's fighting this weekend against Luis Arias. So we'll see. I'm not sure on Jarrett Hurd right now. Juan Francisco Estrada versus Kazuto Ioka, who wins? That's a very hard fight to call, AJ Morningstar. Very hard fight to call. It depends on where that fight is. In Japan, I would take Ioka. In Mexico or America, Estrada. I think it's a hard fight. Ubali's not that good. French fighters are pussies, laugh out loud. Dinez's a fucking legend, though, no doubt about it. No, I think Ubali was a decent fighter. Beat Takuma Inoue, who was decent. I get what you're saying. Like, Ubali was a bit of a belt holder, but he was decent. Yes, Donaire versus Casemiro, yeah. Or you could get the Rigondeaux rematch, XMB 45. If Rigondeaux could beat Casemiro, we could get Rigo Donaire too. In a recent interview, Hearn was very high on Chris Lloyd as a boxing analyst. Sounds like he will have a big role at the Zone. Okay. I'm not really too up to date on Chris Lloyd. Vic Darshinian versus Chocolatito or Estrada. I'd go Chocolatito and Estrada over Vic Darshinian. I'm Scottish, but Donaire is my all-time favourite fighter. He's the definition of what a warrior should be. I totally agree. No excuses when he loses. He takes risks. He takes challenges. Leaves it all on the line. Great fighter, man. Great fighter. Want to see Casemiro beat Rigondeaux to set up a mega fight, a unification fight in the Philippines? Yeah, that'd be great, man. Bump of K thinks Rigondeaux is going to beat Casemiro. If he does, I think he needs to knock him out, Bump of K. I think his legs have gone to the point now where he can't stay away from Casemiro. I don't think he can outwork Casemiro. Rigondeaux's legs are not what they used to be. So I think he needs to walk on Casemiro onto a big shot, basically. He needs to walk Casemiro onto a big straight left hand and knock him out. And it could happen. Rigondeaux, for all of his faults, for all of his criticism, Rigondeaux at that weight class can punch. He can punch. Are you on the fight? Yes, Toby. Nice one. Which country do you think has the worst / most biased officiating? My top 3 is 1 Germany, 2 UK, 3 Italy. I'd say first and second are tied with UK and US. Third, I'm not really sure, to be honest. Brandon thinks US, UK, then Mexico. If you're non-PC and you refuse to push the alphabet agenda, media jobs are out of the question. Yep. Yeah, you've got to sell out, man. You've got to sell out. UK is worse than America for scorecards. It's equally as bad. Both countries are terrible for foreign fighters. Without Joshua and White, how much is the rest of the Matchroom Sports stable worth to watch? Without other sports, the Zone will need to price themselves low for subs. Yeah, I would imagine eventually in the long run they'll try and pick up some football, AA boxing and blunts. That's what I would imagine. Jarrett Hurd literally trolls people at 154, bragging about how much he cuts. He's just big, nothing else, not even a big puncher. I agree. G-Man Boxing. He's got good cardio, tough dude, big for the weight, but that's really it. That's really it. The way Lubin was looking against Gausha, I was glad I missed all of his fights apart from the Charlo fight. Yeah, he looked terrible in that fight, official. Absolutely awful. And he got hurt in that fight as well. Marcellus Wilder called out Tommy Fury on Instagram. Let's get it, man. It'll be funny as fuck. Why not? I'd watch it. Bit of banter. Why not? I really hate to say this, but Golovkin is food for any top 160 or 168 pounder in their prime. Always been a fan of Golovkin, but hate the way his career was directed. Yeah, I think he'll beat Murata, though. I think he'll be a hard fight, but I think he'll beat Murata. I actually think he's competitive with any 160 pounder, to tell you the truth. I'm not saying he beats them all, but I think he's competitive with all of them, but we need to see these fights, man. Do you think AJ's also going to leave Sky? He's got one fight left with Sky. I've got a feeling they'll retain Joshua on pay-per-view. I think they'll retain him. DAZN would have to pay him a lot of fucking money, and also maybe introduce pay-per-view. So I can't really see Joshua signing with DAZN in the UK. Big up to Nordic. Salute to you, sir. Didn't Jarrett Hurd refuse VADA testing for a Julian Williams rematch? Yeah, he did. He did. I think Casemiro will beat Rigondeaux. Then they need to make Donaire versus Casemiro in the Philippines, because I think Donaire would destroy Casemiro. I think Casemiro is a bit one-dimensional. Yeah, you could see Casemiro walking onto a big left hook or a big overhand right and getting knocked out. Takes a lot of risks, Casemiro, and that's what Donaire likes. That's what Donaire likes. From the top of the dome, I pick Ioka over Estrada, apart from a robbery. Yeah, I can see that. Rigondeaux's legs are shot, man. He'll get clipped. Yeah, I think you're right. I think he's got a puncher's chance against Casemiro, but I think those legs, man. I love that fight. I love that Donaire fought. I love that Donaire fought in Glasgow. That's badass. Yeah, Donaire's going to fight anyway, man. He's that sort of guy. I've not checked that out yet. I'll need to check it out. I think Rigondeaux versus Casemiro is going to play out very similar to how Ortiz versus Hooker played out. You could be right, yeah, just getting overwhelmed by the younger, busier, fresher fighter. I could see that. You know, Casemiro's got that two-handed attack. He attacks at angles, throws a lot of punches, hits hard, swarming type of guy. You could see Rigondeaux getting overwhelmed, but fucking hell, my voice went in. You could see Rigondeaux getting overwhelmed, but at the same time, Casemiro leaves a lot of openings defensively. He can be caught coming in. And if Rigondeaux does catch him, I wouldn't be shocked to see him get knocked out. I like that fight a lot, you know. Nordic thinks America's the worst in terms of decisions. I think the UK is equally as bad, man. I've got to be honest. I think the UK is terrible for scorecards. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. Rigondeaux versus Donaire 2 could be better than the first fight because both guys are older and will have to go to war because their legs aren't there. I agree. I think it'll be a better fight, Mr. Doc. I might actually favour Donaire in that rematch. Who remembers that DAZN card in Spain? That was bullshit. Yep. That bad stoppage, Jezza Smith against Lejaraga. That was terrible. Exactly, bump of Cade. Jason Wellborn was giving Hurd the fucking business for a couple of rounds. Giving him the business. Hey Nordic, I also think Usyk stops Joshua. They're underrating him. Chisora throws massive looping shots, which is awkward to face. This new AJ who boxes is going to get outboxed and his chin's going to break. Interesting. I mean, I just love that style matchup. Joshua's the tools kind of boxer-puncher. Usyk is a versatile guy, great boxer, great feet, great hand speed, athletically gifted. It's going to be a great fight, man. If it happens, that is. Golovkin isn't what he was when he fought Jacobs and Cannoli the first time. If he fights Cannoli again, for example, he's going to get punched up badly. I would take Canelo in a third fight. Fight camp announcement, June 14th, July 31st. to 14th of August. Okay, so we're going to get the fight camp announcement on June 14th. Okay. Hopefully we get some good fights. Hopefully we get some world title fights, Hader. That's what I'm hoping for. Male world title fights. If Joshua versus Usyk doesn't go through, what is actually a realistic opponent for Joshua? I don't want to see Ruiz or White rematches or Ortiz. It's going to be one of those guys, XNB. I think realistically, Dillian White would make the most sense. Just two British guys, casual fans would buy it. So I guess Dillian White. To tell you the truth, I guess Dillian White. AJ and Canelo get the worst scorecards. Canelo's definitely up there, bro. Good afternoon, the Quags. Salute to you, sir. Are you staying up for Mayweather versus Logan Paul? Now I'll watch it the next day, bro. I'll catch highlights. Yes, big up to Jim Jones. Big up Del, aka BBW Sports TV. What are you drinking tonight, bro? I'm drinking good old Carlsberg, like a proper fucking chav, man. How about the growth on the second channel, Del? Yeah, man, nearly 10,000 subscribers, man. Crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. Absolutely insane. We'll see where it goes, man. We'll see where it goes. Would Mathias give Taylor any problems, or would he be picked off? I think Mathias gives everybody problems just based on his sheer physicality, his sheer size, man. Great gas tank, durable, hits pretty hard. I think he'll give anybody problems. CM Fox. I would favour Taylor. Don't get me wrong. Taylor's a much better natural boxer, but Mathias, man, has that aura about him, like a Margarito type of guy. Just keeps on walking forwards through all of your fire, and he'll be throwing his own shots, making you work for every second. He's that sort of guy. Even if somebody beats him again, they're gonna have a hard time doing it. And to be honest, he's lost once against the Russian dude. I forgot his name. It was after the Dadashev fight. So we know what happened in the Dadashev fight, and after that, Mathias didn't really look the same. To be honest, he looked rather flat, and he lost that fight. But since then, he seems to have come back, refound his mojo, and yeah, he's looking like a dangerous guy again, man. Mathias is a very dangerous fighter. I don't care what anybody says. I think he'll give anybody a hard fight. Thoughts on Javier Fortuna versus Jojo Diaz? Good fight. I like it. Only thing is, like Jojo Diaz, is he really a lightweight or is he a lazy super featherweight? But it's a good fight. It's a good fight. I'm not really sure who to pick. Yeah, UK stoppages. Yeah, they've been disgraceful for a long time. BG London, honestly, absolutely, man. Yeah, I like the fight, man. Triple G gets stopped to the body in a third Canelo fight. Who knows, man? Who knows? Okay, Galahad versus Dickens 2, world title fight on Fight Camp. I could see that. I don't think Canelo can stop Golovkin. I would still take Golovkin to go the distance. Golovkin will lose again, but trust me, nobody's going to ever stop him. He's too solid. If he sticks around too long, though, he can be stopped. He can be stopped. He can be stopped. If he sticks around too long. Nobody's invincible, man. As good as Golovkin's chin is and as tough as he is. Big up to Tommy Temper. Salute to you. My son, big up to you. Oh, dear. Yeah, I do. I used to play Fight Night all the time. Jazz. Want to see Joshua versus Ancelotti? Snake, yeah. Oh, yeah. Second channel is Disturbed Reality. It's doing well, man. It's doing well. How long's Usyk been mandatory? Since June 2019, BG London. June 2019. That's when he was officially named mandatory by the WBO. Is it true that Pro Grace refused to fight Mathias? Now, I've heard this official, but I've not seen any sources for it, so I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. I'm not sure. Again, that would be a great fight. It'd be a great fucking fight. If Carlsberg made YouTube channels. Yeah, Matchroom have dropped Daniel Yulusanov. I know he's looked better in the last 2 or 3 fights, but he is well boring. Yeah, I'm not sold on Yulusanov at all. J-Dav, I'm not sold on him. He's decent, but I don't think he's ever going to be a world champion or anything like that. I really don't. So I don't really think that's much of a loss, to tell you the truth. I really don't. I understand that one. What can you really do with him? What can you really do with him? Where are we at anyway? Yes, big up to Tommy. Yeah, Dadashev, yeah. Yeah, Ananyan, that's it. Official. Yeah, that's it. And again, I'm not making excuses for Mathias, but to me, he just didn't look himself in that fight. I guess that is an excuse, but he just didn't look himself in that fight. He looked so flat. So flat. Golovkin's chin or ability to take Golovkin's chin or ability to take hard punishment and shake it off isn't anything to do with age, just boxing genetics. Jojo Diaz will get favoritism in scorecards against Fortuna. You've heard it here first. Nobody wants Fortuna to get a title shot because he's too awkward and is a style Haney hasn't fought yet. I don't know, man. Maybe you're right. I don't know. Yes, Carson Jones, Brian Rose. Yeah, horrible stoppage. Del, as crazy as it seems, could Logan Paul knock out Mayweather? And what would be the ramifications if he did? It'll be embarrassing for boxing, bro, Ian Ward. It'll be embarrassing for boxing if that fucking Hulk Hogan-looking kid knocks out Floyd. It'll be embarrassing. But yeah, it's not going to happen, man. It's not going to happen. Yeah, I see that, Tommy Temper. I see that. Yeah, disturbed reality equals pussy in views. Yeah, hope fingers crossed. Fingers crossed, official, man. Fingers crossed. But yeah, I think we've done how many videos have we done now? 5 or 6 videos, something like that. And yeah, 10,000 subs. So you can't really argue with that. Can't really argue with it. But yeah, I've got some video ideas coming up. Got some ideas coming up. Okay, this is a good fight. Mathias versus Giesov. How do you think that fight would play out? I think Mathias knocks out Giesov. I think he gets on top of him, overwhelms him, probably loses the first few rounds, but he'll overwhelm Giesov and knock him out. I think he'll overwhelm him. I think you can make Giesov uncomfortable. I saw that in the Emmanuel Taylor fight. I think that pressure is going to be too much for Giesov, but we'll see. Giesov's a good fighter. He's improved a lot since the Emmanuel Taylor fight, I have to admit, but I would take Mathias to beat Giesov. Again, Mathias isn't a great technical boxer or anything like that, but it's just that relentlessness, man. Do you think Dubois needs to impress against Dinu? Yeah, 100%, man. He needs to make a statement. Of course. 100%. 100%. I think it's a decent comeback fight, though. I think it's ideal. Dinu's good for a couple of rounds. Hopefully we see him catch Dubois with a couple of good shots, see how Dubois responds. That's what I want to see, but I think Dubois is going to get him out of there. Why do you think Lomachenko's so hated? I don't know, man. This whole YouTube scene is full of weirdos, Andre, honestly. I'm just... I don't know, really, honestly. But yeah, I think anybody with that sort of backing, that sort of fanfare, like any sort of high-profile fighter is going to get their detractors. It is what it is, really. Nature of the sport, I guess. It's one of those things. Yeah, exactly, the 90s. Tommy Fury's fighting an undefeated fighter finally. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, Andre, it's crazy, bro. I don't know how, bro. I think it was because of the thumbnail I used. It's kind of clickbaity, but you got to do what you got to do, man. You got to do what you got to do. Yeah, I agree with that, Mr. Doc. I agree. I've got a feeling Golovkin's chin is going to... suddenly be like Kovalev's was, just eats way too many clean shots. Now, I think Golovkin's always going to have a naturally good chin, but eventually, surely it's going to crack eventually. We'll see, but we'll see. Yeah, bro, Subriel Mathias is going to destroy Lewis Ritson. That'll be ugly. That'll be ugly. That'll be an absolutely horrible fight for Lewis Ritson. Mathias versus Baranchik, who wins? I think you've got to say Mathias, man, after Baranchik's last fight. How he got brutally knocked out, man. Took a lot of punishment as well. You've got to say Mathias, but if it's the same old Baranchik, it's a good fight. It's a very good fight. No idea, Dominic. No fucking idea. Hopefully it happens soon. But I think Fowler beats him in a rematch, bro. I really do. Scott Fitzgerald's been living far too dangerously outside the ring, man. It's going to catch up to him. Say what you want about Fowler. I don't like the guy, but he trains hard, and I think he'll beat Fitzgerald in a rematch. Yeah, smash my thumbs up. Loma doesn't have a melanin for some. Listen, bro, man, there's always going to be certain fighters out there, no matter who they are. They'll get hated by a certain section of people. I think that just comes with the territory, man. I'm past caring what other YouTubers think and other fans think at this point in time. I just like who I like, man. That's all there is to it, man. Honestly, bro, Stephen, there's so many shit takes on YouTube about boxing. I'd fucking rather see fucking cartel videos for research on the second channel than listen to some of these shit takes on boxing. Seriously, man. The second channel's really made me realise how cancer the boxing community is. Because that fucking second channel, I talk about fucked up crimes and shit. And the commenters are so much more... I don't know, man. There's like no drama or anything like that. Nothing at all. And I've looked at that community in general. There's no drama, nothing like that. That's why I'm lucky to have my channel, the boxing channel, the way it is, man. All of you guys are sound, so I'm lucky. Most channels are fucking cancer in terms of like the actual fan base. So I've hit the jackpot with you guys, man. So big up to you. Big up to you lot, man. All of you for supporting the channel for so long. Because this is always going to be the main channel, no matter how fucking big the second channel gets. This is always going to be the main channel. Yeah, maybe true crime YouTuber groupies will be a thing. Keep your fingers crossed, Dell, and you'll be swimming in tail. Yeah, fingers crossed, bro. What do you think about the Charlos being snakes by their so-called fans for saying race doesn't matter? Again, man, that's Jamel Charlo, right, who said that? Listen, Jamel Charlo's doing his thing, man. He's fighting everybody. He's on the verge of fighting for undisputed. How long have I been saying Jamel Charlo's a good fighter? I've been saying it for a minute. He's a guy who's doing it how I want it to be done. He's fighting anybody. That's all I want as a boxing fan. I don't care where you're from. None of that. If you're fighting the top guys, I'll co-sign you. It's that simple, man. But you know, to a lot of people, this isn't just about boxing. It's a lot deeper than that. There's a lot of people in this world, no matter where they're from, man, who are just deeply insecure, and they need to live vicariously for another man to feel validated. And that's the saddest existence possible, man. Just pull yourself up by your bootstraps, look yourself in the mirror, be happy with yourself, and improve what you need to improve. You don't need to sit there living for another man. It's tragic. It's sad, honestly. So, again, Jamel Charlo's doing his thing. Great fighter. No problem with Jamel Charlo at all. If Mayweather gets rocked by Logan, that's like a win for him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think you'll see that, Haydar. Yeah, a lot more UK fighters in the US. Yeah, I think you'll see that. Yeah, that'll be a great fight. Be a great fight. Be a great fight, Andre. That'll be a violence fight. I like Prograis. I like Mathias. Wouldn't really have a dog in the race, to be honest. I like both guys a lot, so that's just going to be a pure war. So Mathias has that size. Regis, much better boxer, so that'll be a great fight. Yeah, Fitzy doesn't have to give Fowler a rematch. No, he doesn't, but it'll happen. It'll happen. It'll definitely happen, but I don't think Fitzgerald has been living the life as he should do, to be honest. And he'll get beat by Anthony Fowler, and then he'll fade away into obscurity. I can't see Fitzgerald winning a rematch. Not surprised. Yeah, Golovkin versus Falcao might be next. Your thoughts on that fight? Yeah, I mean, again, I can't confess to have seen too much from Falcao, but, you know, he comes from a good amateur background, Olympic silver medalist. From the highlights I have seen, he looks pretty well put together, does the basics well, pretty big and strong, hits relatively hard. He looks like an okay fighter to me, but I need to do a bit more research on Falcao. I know the popular narrative will be just to call him a bum without looking at him, but I need to see him properly. I need to see a couple of his fights in full to get a good gauge of what sort of fighter he is, where he's at. But from what little I have seen, doesn't look too bad to me. Oh yeah, 100% crazy, 100%. Yeah, 100% fight film. The left always consumes itself. Useful idiots. Martin Butler, what's next for Liam Williams? I would say maybe Felix Cash. I wouldn't mind seeing Chris Eubank Jr. fight Liam Williams. I think that would be a good fight in terms of like just pure entertainment. Be a bit of a war. I think that would be a good fight for Liam Williams. Yeah, Liam Williams is what he is really. Liam Williams is a good sort of high-level domestic contender / European contender. He's not world level though, Liam Williams. Yeah, is what it is, man. Yeah, big up to DW. Big up. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. Yeah, it's slow, Dominic. It's slow, man. It's slow. Like, boxing is super niche. It really is. It really is super niche. All that most people really want to hear about is Joshua Fury Wilder. And occasionally I'll make those videos. They get good views, but I couldn't do those videos all the time. Oh, Deontay Wilder fucking ate a bowl of Cheerios for dinner. Breaking news. Those are the sort of videos people want to see. But if you make a video on, I don't know, Lucas Rozansky versus Artur Spilka, not really going to get you anywhere, is it? But it is what it is. They approved the smaller gloves for the Floyd Logan fight. To be honest with you, man, Floyd told you what that fight was, man. It's a legalized bank robbery. That's what it is. And you know, some would say that summarizes the second half of his career, man. Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. If people are going to buy it, then they deserve to get robbed, as far as I'm concerned. For fuck's sake, Jim Jones, man. This fat girl meme's not going to end, is it? I live vicariously through Dave Allen, Andy Ruiz, and Butterbean. Yeah, yo, crazy D3, you're right. So Scott Fitzgerald on his comeback, I think it was on the Parker Chisora card. I saw his interview before that comeback fight, and he looked strung out, man. Like he sounded different, he looked different. Those antidepressants are no joke, man. They are no joke. He looked like a different person, sounded like a different person. His mannerisms, man, were so weird, man. But yeah, I think you're right. I think Fitzy on medication, yeah, he'll lose to Fowler. I'm sure back in the day, I might be wrong, but you wasn't allowed to fight on medication in the UK, like mental health medication, like antidepressants. I'm sure back in the day you wasn't allowed to fight on those, but I'm not sure about that. Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, you'll see him back, Martin Butler, on Fight Camp, I would imagine. Babbage. I think Babbage gets squashed by Chisora, Mr. Doc. It'll be entertaining, but too much of a test for Alan Babbage. Babbage is a very small heavyweight. Yeah, I agree. Martin Butler, I agree. Yeah, breaking news. Anthony Joshua's advisor sends an email to Eddie Hearn. Basically. Wilder said on Mac Life that he was under some juju, gypsy magic. Oh, Christ. Listen, man, that third Wilder fight, you got to take it for what it is. It's going to be sports entertainment. There's going to be a lot of degeneracy in the build-up. It's going to be fucking crazy. You might as well enjoy the train wreck. You might as well just enjoy it. I think Fury wins again, but we'll see. We'll see. Floyd's hair transplant's coming good for fight week. Looked better today. Laugh out loud. He had a fucking haircut. That's why. Did you see? Did you see MTK changed their Instagram logo to a rainbow and it got a lot of backlash? They've changed it back to normal. Laugh out loud. I didn't see that, but yeah, I'm glad they changed it back to normal. Put it that way. That's all I'll say. Don't want to get cancelled. Yeah, I agree, Dominic. I agree. Scott Fitzgerald is a wasted talent. We'll always love the lad, though. Never forget when he beat Anthony Fowler, the fraud. Yep. That was a great night. Great night. MTK are promoting... For fuck's sake. Nordic man. Oh, Christ. What's the deal with Mick Conlon now? I'm kind of losing interest in the guy. Yeah, me too, bro. Mick Conlon, I think, is going to stick around and hope he gets a vacant world title. Wilder's saying anything to sell pay-per-views. Indeed, he is. Yeah, I think that's what it is, really. He's just trying to sell the fight, trying to cash out. If he wins, he wins, but he wants to get a bigger payday as possible. And like I say, I'll just enjoy it. I'll enjoy the degeneracy. I see people are already up in arms about Wilder saying he wants to kill Tyson Fury. I mean, at the end of the day, it's boxing. It can happen, right? So, is what it is. You know, people just want to get offended by something. I don't care that Wilder said what he said. He's got an opportunity to do it. Will he do it? I doubt it, but we'll see. We'll see. Hope you're all feeling the same. Sorry, hope you're all feeling sane. It's all media, sleep tight, facts, 100%. Yeah, MTK of all fucking organizations, virtue signaling. Yep. Is there women on your second channel, Del? I'm not talking about sexual reasons. Nah, no women, but there seems to be a lot of women subscribers for some reason. I don't know why. Warrington versus Lara 2. Okay, Katie Taylor on the undercard. Yeah, Lara Warrington 2 is a good fight. That's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah, me too, Dominic. I was super happy when Anthony Fowler lost. Can't stand the guy. How do you beat a guy like Tyson Fury, in your opinion? I always wondered why guys don't work Tyson Fury's body, man. I always wondered that. He's quite elusive to the head, as we know, quite slippery. But you go back and watch the Otto Wallin fight. All Otto Wallin was doing was just, keeping a good shape, nice tight guard, jabbing, coming forwards. And he was doing good body work in that fight throughout. And I thought he stumbled upon something in that fight with that body work. Just solid, steady pressure, tight guard, jab, body work. He was giving Tyson Fury a lot of problems, even before the cut. So maybe that sort of technically sound approach of applying pressure behind a high guard, working that body, I'm not sure, really. I think Tyson's very beatable, to tell you the truth. I think he's beatable. I don't think he's this unbeaten guy that people think he is. Yeah, he is. Dominic, yeah. Conlon, yeah, he's overrated. Man, you skipped me. No, I didn't skip you, bro. I didn't skip you. My channel is a sausage fest. So is this channel, bro. So is this channel, man. I don't know what makes people so confident in Wilder. Yeah, it's what it is, man. It's just fanboying. I mean, really, as a Wilder fan, if you're a Wilder fan, all you can really go into that fight with is hope. Hope he lands that right hand. Hope Fury stays down. Because technically, how does Wilder win that fight? How does he set a trap to knock out Fury? How does he finish Fury if he hurts Fury? How does he respond from, let's say the third fight starts similar to the second fight ended. How's Wilder going to respond? I just can't see it, man. He needs to land one shot and knock him out. But exactly, G-Man. Yeah, Mick Conlon is trying to win a world title without fighting anybody. Any decent fighter from 118 to 126 destroys him. I agree. He's one of those guys, G-Man, who's kind of probably stayed in the amateurs a little too long. His style's not really translated, in my opinion. Oh yeah, boxing learner. Yeah, Daniel Kinahan. Yeah, allegedly. Now this is a good fight. Janibek versus Rob Brandt. Yeah, at middleweight. Good fight. Good step up for Janibek. Obviously, Rob Brandt's got a win over Ryota Morata, so he's a decent fighter, Rob Brandt. It's a good little test. I like it. I think Janibek's going to come through it, but I think it'll be a tough little fight. Yeah, that's the impression I've been getting from Eddie Hearn, Daniel. And listen, Joshua's the boss, so if he vacates that title, it's a duck. Simple as that. Yeah, it's more than a bad look, bro. It's a straight out duck, in my opinion. Straight out duck. Yeah, a lot of women are attracted to evil. Didn't Ted Bundy get love letters in prison? Yeah, man. Ted Bundy had game, no doubt about it. He had game. But yeah, you're right. You're right, crazy. Do you think AJ and Fury are waiting to be their own promoters? Maybe. Faz maybe. Particularly Joshua. I think Joshua could pull it off. Yeah, he did, yeah. But the mistake that Wallin was making on a lot of those occasions, he wasn't concentrating on the body enough, in my opinion. Because like I say, when he went to the body, he actually had some success. Nail into the fucking canvas, indeed. Yeah, many women love killers like Bundy, yep. Ted Bundy, Richard Ramirez, indeed. Yep. A lot of those guys got fucking mad love when they got arrested and got sent down. It's crazy, isn't it? It's absolutely crazy. Big up to Talk Boxing with Preston. Is it coming home? Nah, it's not coming home, bro. It's not coming home. We'll get through the group stages and probably lose in the quarterfinals, I would say. I can't be bothered with the Wilder Fury bullshit waiting for the result. Yeah, I know what you mean, bro, but I'm just going to enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy the fucking build-up. Why not, man? It's going to be sports entertainment. There's going to be a lot of back and forth, a lot of he said, she said. It's going to be funny as fuck, man. I'll enjoy it for what it is. I'm not going to get too down on it. It is what it is, man. It's the fight we got, so I might as well try and make the best of it. And I do think Wilder's gonna come to obviously fight. Probably just not going to be enough. Yeah, some refs would have stopped that Wallin Fury fight. Wallin was unlucky not to win that fight. Otto is very underrated. Yeah, Otto is just one of those guys who does all of the basics well, man. Good solid defense, good balance, nice jab. Obviously a southpaw as well. Just technically sound, really. Doesn't really hit particularly hard, but does all of the basics well. Good little fringe level heavyweight. See, I wouldn't mind seeing Otto Wallin fight Ajit Kabayel, for example. Dubois versus Kalnaki, good fight, you know. That's a good fight. I think it'll be a bit of a war for as long as it lasts. I'd probably lean towards Dubois, though. Good fight, though, man. That's a good fight. That guy that killed his wife and kids a couple of years back got many female admirers from jail. He was crazy, bro. Honestly, I've never understood it. Never understood it. Mathias versus Prograis. I'd lean towards Prograis, but I just think Mathias is that guy who's going to give everybody a hard fight. If Mathias beat anybody in that division, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked. Yeah, I laugh at the MTK thing, like the head coach in my old gym won't train a fighter who's with MTK because of Daniel Kinahan, yet he bigs up Don King, a murderer. Yeah, exactly, bro. Probably football, jazz, but again, I'm not a massive football fan these days, but I'd say football. Yep, boxing has been run by mobs for years. 100%, man. It's not going to change. I mean, let's be honest, Talk Boxing with Preston. The last few months, Wilder's not exactly given me anything to be too positive about, kind of thing. So, but it's all been negative with Wilder recently. And to be fair, I don't really make many Wilder videos. It's not like I make videos on Wilder day to day. I think the last video I made on Wilder was positive, actually. Talk boxing with Preston. I think it was positive, actually, the last video I made on Wilder, because I was talking about the pad work with Malik Scott. I thought Malik was putting him through some good drills that potentially, if they could translate on fight night, could be beneficial for Wilder. Women don't like being mums because men are looking for new avenues. Interesting. Yeah, women love serial killers. Bizarre shit. I don't think Wallin is fringe world level. I think he would give a lot of guys trouble. It's still too early to say for me. Still too early to say. I need to see him get a couple of wins, a couple of good wins. Joyce versus Hunter. I think Joyce is too big, bro. I think Joyce is too big. I think Hunter will give him problems with the movement, but I think Joyce gets on top of him, probably stops him late or outworks him. Kalnacki showing signs of CTE already. Yeah, the guy fucking uses his fucking bald head as a fucking defense. Yeah, Regis is a hell of a counterpuncher, though. Mathias hasn't faced a guy like him. Yeah, Regis is very sharp. Hits hard as well. Hits hard. It's a good fight, Andre. Very good fight. Babic versus Price at Fight Camp fireworks. Yeah, bro. I'd love to see it. Do you know what, Ian? I'm actually taking David Price in that fight. I'm taking David Price. Realised today that Ricky Hatton is the same age as Manny Pacquiao. Message is, don't drink to excess. Look at Manny Pacquiao, look at Ricky Hatton. I know who I'd rather be, and it's not Ricky Hatton. Janabek fought my brother. Oh, that's cool. What, in the amateurs, Tintin? See, I think that's a great fight, Andre. That can't be a bad fight. That can't be a bad fight. Maybe I'm just a bit gassed on Mathias, but I think that guy's going to be a real problem. Just that pure violence aspect that he brings, man. I like it. I've not been... I've always said it, you know, the violence aspect of boxing is one of the reasons I like it, right? And Mathias, yeah, he's not a great technical boxer, but he brings that fucking violence. He brings that heat. He comes to fight. Heavy-handed guy, man. Throws a lot of punches. Aggressive. Takes risks. I like Mathias a lot. I really do. Yeah, I could see Joe Joyce beating away, especially behind that jab. Yeah, I could see it. Danilo, oh, for fuck's sake. How many times a week do you take your girl out for a takeaway in order to get her that BBW status? Yeah, I've always thought Regis Prograis looks a bit fleshy. Yeah, Joyce ain't old. Sorry, Joe Joyce ain't old enough to fight White yet. Yeah, give it 5 years, crazy. Give it 5 years. That Columbine shooting is a crazy story, Del. Yeah, I know about the Columbine shooting. Yeah, it's insane, bro. See, those two kids, man, have been like idolized by a lot of edgelords online and shit. Yeah, but those two kids were fucking crazy, man. Hopefully they're rotting in hell, man. Yeah, Wallin versus Chisora, decent fight. I like it. Yep. See, I wouldn't mind seeing Wallin versus Ajit Caballel or Otto Wallin versus Robert Helenius. That fight would make a lot of sense, though. Sweden versus Finland. Helenius versus Wallin. Battle of the Nordic countries. That would make a lot of sense. Yes, Spilka versus Ryzansky was hilarious, Mr. Relax. I thought I did pick Ryzansky to win, but not that early. I thought Ryzansky would win, but not that early. Prime Hatton, Khan or Brook, who's the best? It's hard to say, man. I think Khan actually has the best resume, to be honest. But in terms of head-to-head, I think Brook beats Khan. I think Brook beats both Khan and Hatton at welterweight at his best. I think Hatton beats Khan at 140. So make of that what you will, the 90s. Make of that what you will. Taylor is fucked if he fights Mathias and fucked if he fights Crawford. I think he loses to Crawford, to tell you the truth. In all honesty, before Taylor fights Crawford, I would want to see him fight at welterweight first, like I've always said, like maybe against Josecito Lopez or somebody like that, just to get him used to the weight, see what he looks like. The But as for Mathias, I would favour Josh Taylor, but I think it's a hard fucking fight. I think it's a hard fight. Thoughts on Warrington Lara too? I mean, I guess you've got to go with Lara again, but if Warrington is fighting in front of a crowd again, that is going to be a big boost for him. He feeds off that crowd, that energy, and that can, bring the most out of a fighter. So I think it's a competitive rematch right now. If you asked me, I probably lean towards Lara, but it's a good fight. Who do you think the nicest ring girl is, Del? I think the Corona one who was startled by Wilder's Bomb Squad chant is... Yeah, she was nice, Jim Jones. She was nice. Actually, a few of these fucking Russian cards, man, some of these ring girls are fucking nice. I quite like the top rank ring girls as well. Yes, big up to Phasma Jarkle. I'm not sure if I'm saying that name right, bro. So apologies if I'm not, but big up to you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I take Pricey over Babic too. Winters, Little, and KO'd Kennedy are levels below Pricey. Totally agree. I think you could see Dave Allen, David Price all over again, G-Man. Yep, it's not just drink. It's too many English breakfasts and bacon sarnies. Yeah, it's crazy. I honestly don't understand how Chisora versus Parker was pay-per-view, but Taylor Ramirez wasn't even shown on English TV. It goes to show the state of British boxing, doesn't it, really? Kalnaki breathes like a walrus. Something isn't right with him. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Yeah, Prograis is very versatile, Bump of K. He is slick, like you said, man. He's very cute on the inside. He can slip and slide. He can counter. He can trade. He can apply pressure. He can counter punch. He's a real versatile fighter, Prograis. Real versatile fighter. I like him a lot, man. I like Prograis a lot. I think Pricey would have to stay long. But when he's done this before, when has he done this before, really? I see a Babic KO, as much as I hate to say it. I mean, he did it against Dave Allen. He did do it against Dave Allen, for what's that's worth. And Babic is a small heavyweight, man. Sometimes he doesn't even weigh in at 200 pounds. Like, he's a small heavyweight. So I could see David Price weathering an early storm, popping him behind the jab, and maybe taking Alan Babic out. I don't think Alan Babic is that good at all, man. He was getting tagged up by Tom Little, man. He was getting caught by Tom Little. So if David Price can connect like that as Babic is coming forwards, I could see Pricey knocking him out. I really could. I think it's a good fight, though. I think it's a good fight. Babic is another case of Matchroom selling a fighter based on WWE storyline. Yep. We want to see a Daniel Kinahan special on your other channel. Yeah. He needs to start releasing some fucking cartel snuff videos, man. Then I might do it. I probably wouldn't do it, too close to home. Too close to home. Exactly, man. Otto Wallin versus Robert Hellenius makes sense. Dell's got a season ticket at the local all-you-can-eat buffets for his bitches. Oh, dear. Yeah, Fedosov versus Bacole or Huey Fury. I reckon those would be solid fights. I agree. See, for me personally as well, I mean, we look at Jared Anderson. I mean, if I was managing Jared Anderson, I'd have him fight Joey DeWayco next, and after that, maybe Fedosov. So Fedosov right now is in the shop window after beating Russian dude. What's his name? Mohammed, I'll call him. His name's Mohammed Razul. I think his name was. Mohammed Razul, yeah. Daniel Kinahan's more elusive than Al Heyman. Prime Khan versus Tartan Tornado at 140. I'd say Josh Taylor. I think Josh Taylor can do what Lamont Peterson did, but to greater effect. So I'd say Josh Taylor late stoppage. I'd lean towards Lara. Prime Khan beats Taylor. Interesting. Back to 2015. Thurman Brook who would have won. I'm tempted to say Thurman because he seems to deal with adversity better than Brook. Although Brook would have won the early rounds. Would have been a good fight, man. Would have been a real good fight. I don't think either guy really developed into what we thought they would do. I think maybe Furman close on points. Maybe Furman close on points. Good fight though. Apparently some oligarch wants that Usyk versus Joshua fight in Moscow or Crimea. Interesting, bro. Interesting. So yeah, if it goes to purse bids, they'll definitely vacate now. So bored with Crawford, he can kick rocks. I don't disagree. Plant-based boxing, big up to you, sir. Yeah, Josh Taylor won't improve as he adds weight, but it's going to happen. Yeah, he'll definitely move up, bro. I bet you watched the Iceman tapes, Hitman Serial Killer. No, I've not seen it, bro. I've not seen it. Yeah, the blonde matchroom girl, the slag of the group is dank. That'll be a good fight, you know, two smaller heavyweights. Yeah, that'll be a good fight. Both guys, you know, come forwards, very, very aggressive, take risks. Be a fun fight. Be a fun fight. That guy looks like such a fucking hooligan, man. Rosansky. Not quite yet. Not quite yet. But apparently early September. That's what they're saying. Rosansky, okay. Yeah, I butcher pronunciations, man. I destroy these guys' names. Kyra Kelly, got no idea who that is, man. Yeah, I agree. Crazy. I agree. Yeah, Price would beat anybody who doesn't connect with his chin. Yeah, I've got Price as well, man. I think Price beats him. I want to see it though, just for it'd be fucking hilarious, man. Be hilarious. Any fight with David Price, I'm watching. I don't care, man. I don't care. Like David Price is like boxing's crash test dummy. He really is. I quite like him though, David Price. I do quite like him. I like watching him fight. You never know what's going to happen. Well, you do. He's going to get knocked out, but you never know how he's going to get knocked out. Thoughts on Joshua saying better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener during a war? Probably the most moronic saying I've ever heard in my life. Well, better to fight your mandatories than duck them. That's what I say. That's my philosophy. That's my philosophy for the day. Fight Usyk, man. That's all we want to see. I don't want to hear fucking random ass quotes that I have to decipher. I want to see Joshua versus Usyk. That's all I want to see. Stick your quotes up your ass, as far as I'm concerned. Oh, Kira, yeah, Kira. Do you think Primark Cam will take over Sky Sports? You mean, what's the guy's name? What's that little fat cunt's name? What's his name? I forgot his name. Joe Joyce's manager. What's his fucking name? I forgot his name. Yeah, it's a shame Carlos Monzon didn't cause a bit more damage. He'd be a great crossover video for the second channel. It's a shame, innit? Edwin Valero could be a good story, to be honest. Bell hasn't got a death wish. Anybody know if Bell you got home safe to his wife and kids? Yeah. That's what it's looking like, Jomar. That's what it's looking like right now. That's what it's looking like. I'm hoping it doesn't happen. I want to see that fight. I really want to see that fight. But for some reason, a lot of guys on social media, despite saying Usyk fucking sucks at heavyweight, they don't seem too keen on that fight. What have boxing fans become, man? It's a great fucking fight. It's a brilliant fight. Did you know Bellew just wants to get home safe to his wife and kids? Perhaps I'm a fool, but I think Babic is too violent for Pricey. Perhaps we'll never know. I hope we do find out. It'll be a hell of a fight. It'll be funny as fuck. And it'll be entertaining, let's be honest about it. And it's a good test for Babic right now. It's a good test. Rob McCracken mentioned 3 heavyweights to swerve for Joshua in 2017. Ortiz, Wilder, and Usyk. See, people like to forget what Barry Hearn said about Wilder. People always bring up the DAZN offer, rightly so. But if you go back to the very start of the negotiations, before DAZN even came along, it was Team Joshua who were kind of swerving that fight. Just listen to what Barry Hearn said. He said, like, I wouldn't care if Joshua never fought Wilder in his career. And also, we could wait till 2020, 2021, and this is 2017 to fight Wilder. So Team Joshua never always wanted that fight. I think in the end they did when Wilder ducked it. But both guys were to blame, man. Both guys played games in regards to that fight. Only difference was Wilder played the last game when he fucking turned down that big offer. So it was what it was, man. Who's going to take over Sky Sports? I don't think any one promoter will be. I think it'll be a whole host of promoters. A whole host. So like Sauerland, Mick Hennessy, Al Siesta, maybe Dennis Hobson. All of these sort of guys, man, will get shows on Sky. Del Boy, don't you love Texas? Got to be a BBW haven. Fuck's sake. Ice Cream Man seemed to have a big ego, like he was trying too hard to seem scary in the interview. I'll need to see it. Ortiz hard-punching Cuban southpaw, Wilder erratic powerful punches, and Usyk slick southpaw. Price versus Spilka, that'll be hilarious, man. That'll be fucking hilarious. Yes, you've sold me, Nordic. Can you imagine that fight? I think Price wins it, Nordic. I think Price wins. I think Spilka might have a worse chin than David Price at this point, in all seriousness. Yeah, Sam Jones, that's the one. Sam Jones, the little fat cunt. I got Jarrett Hurd on a UD, Talk Boxing. Jarrett Hurd UD. No, I think Usyk gives him problems. I think he does. Yeah, I think it's a hard fight. I think it's a risky fight. Hence why I want to see it. I'm not sure what happens. I know Dillian White gets fucking cleaned out again by Joshua. I know Andy Ruiz more than likely this time loses again to Joshua. And Ortiz, I mean, the guy's past it now, Luis Ortiz. Alexander Usyk is the most intriguing fight out of that bunch. Hence why I want to see it, man. Provodnikov Maidana, that's a hard fight to call, you know. I think Provodnikov was more naturally durable. I think Maidana was a bit more powerful, a bit more heavy-handed, certainly more explosive in his punches. I might take Maidana in the narrowest of fights. Maidana, I would say. That was the only one who finds Crawford's wife attractive. Fuck's sake. Yes, salute to L-Dog, man. Big up to L-Dog, straight out of New Zealand, man. Dropping by to show support. Big up to L-Dog, the New Zealand correspondent. Salute, man. Del, you should do the Jamie Bolger story. Just mental that the shit they did to protect those 2 killers. Plastic surgery, millions spent on protecting them. It's nuts. Yeah, it's crazy. Horrible story, man. Horrible fucking story. Disgusting. It's disgusting, man. Joshua needs to watch the Briedis fight and get some confidence to fight Usyk. Yeah, I hope we can get MTK shows on Sky. Yeah, exactly. But again, will Sky actually want to work with MTK due to the due to Daniel Kinahan, all the bad press? I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. There's a tweet from Barry Hearn after Fury versus Wilder 1 admitting that they was glad they turned down $50 million to fight Wilder. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Price versus Stavern. I'd watch it, man. Now, this is a hard fight to call for me. Herring is taller, longer. He's the outboxer in that fight. Valdez, more compact, aggressive, harder puncher. I mean, I thought both guys looked really good in their last fights. Only difference was Oscar did it in a much harder fight against a bigger dude. So I might lean towards Valdez, but I wouldn't be confident. Don't hold me to it. If we got that fight, I might change my mind nearer the time. But I'd lean towards Oscar, but not really confident, to tell you the truth. But it's a great fight. Yeah, Price versus Brown. Fuck me. Can you imagine? Why not fucking David Price versus fucking Alexander Ustinov? Two big lumbering heavyweights with no chin. Just makes me laugh fucking thinking about it. A fourth substance was found in Pascal's sample, EPO this time. So he's been on the old Jarrell Miller fucking cocktail. Lovejoy versus Spielka. If you're talking about heavyweight, Trevor Bryan. Lucas Brown, likable guy despite the doping. He's all right, I guess, man. He's not too bad. I'd like to see Joe Joyce, Dillian White. Me too, Joe Blow. Me too, man. Great fight. I might lean towards Joe Joyce. If you can stick behind that jab, don't get too involved. Good fight though, man. Has anybody watched The Dissident? Crazy shit? No, I've never seen it, bruv. I'm not a guy who watches like TV programs and movies all that much. If you ask me if I've seen it, usually the answer is no, 99% of the time, like genuinely. Yeah, Joyce White, cracking fight, I agree. Good evening, gents, listening live from work. Big up to Apology, man. You know who it is. You know where I am. Big up to Apology. Yes, Sky ran the golden contract with MTK. That's true, actually. That is true. That is true. White versus Huey Fury, I'd be interested in as well. Not me personally, I'd say no. I think Huey needs a couple more fights still. I'd take both Joyce and Dubois over White. I'm not sure about Dubois, man. I'm not sure about Dubois. But yeah, I'll take Joyce. Apology worked out too much. Sorry. Apology worked out. Dude. Yeah, they employed Apology at the gym. He's just always there. He now owns the gym, Apology. Who's Dillian White going to fight next? To be honest with you, Eddie's saying they want him to fight in America against like basically a gimme fight. Like Chris Arreola got mentioned, Trevor Bryan, Stephen Shaw, Jermaine Franklin. These are the sort of guys we're talking about. Joyce beats Wilder. Be a good fight. Be a good fight. If Joyce could actually revert to that pressure style, get on Wilder's chest, he could fuck Wilder up. He definitely could. Sorry, Usyk and Wilder versus Fury. How does both fights play out? So I think. So do you mean Usyk versus Wilder and Fury? Yeah. I think Usyk beats Wilder on points. Tyson Fury. I think Tyson Fury beats Usyk on points. Maybe. Joshua versus Usyk. I'm totally unsold. I don't really know. To tell you the truth, I'm not really sure. I would really need to think about that fight. I would need to think about it. Joyce doesn't beat White. I think Joyce wins, man. Big up to Big Boys Boxing. Personally, I'll take Joyce all over. Sorry. Personally, I'll take Joyce over all, but maybe Joshua or Fury and Usyk's 50-50. He'll give anybody a fight, Joe Joyce. No, I agree, DW. I think he gives everyone a hard fight. He gives everyone a hard fight. Since Fury versus Povetkin, I haven't been interested in what Huey's been doing. I've not been interested in Huey for a long time, Dominic. I think Huey needs to fight, what's his face? Martin Bakole. I think that'll be a good fight for Huey Fury. Trevor Bryan versus White. At least White becomes a champion of some sort. Yeah, paper champion, but still. David Price versus Junior Farr. Good fight. I take Junior Farr, though, by knockout. I'm leaning towards Erickson Lubin. Leaning towards Lubin, but tough fight to call, considering where both guys are at right now. Yeah, White Ruiz is a good fight. See, that's a good fight. I wouldn't mind seeing that. That's a good fight. Yeah, White versus Ruiz with Parker Chisora 2 on the undercard. Yeah, I'd like that shit. Yeah, I'd watch it. Yeah, Joyce versus Miller will be hilarious, man. Be hilarious. I think Joyce outboxes Miller, though. Yeah, I wonder with Sky Sports, man. I wonder. I think what you'll see is they'll go back to what they used to do before Matchroom came along. They'll just work with numerous promoters, kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Huey's not really got the knockout power. His last fight was a bit more exciting against Marius Wack, but Huey's not a puncher at all. I'd like to see Huey versus Price. I reckon if Huey fights like he did with Wack, he'd knock out Pricey. I agree, you know. I agree. Huey Fury's another one who is showing signs of punchiness. Yep, punch drunk indeed. Yeah, he doesn't speak the most clear, Huey Fury. But he's been that way for a long time. I wonder whether it's just him being thick. I'm not sure, but hopefully it's not the old damage he sustained. But yeah. To be fair, though, the 90s, man, even when Huey was on that shit, he wasn't exactly looking great, was he? To be fair. Who wins Parker Chisora 2? I'd go... I might lean towards Parker, but it's a hard fight to call, man. I thought the first fight was close. I felt Chisora nicked it, but I think Parker will adjust in a rematch. I think he'll win, Muhammad. Muhammad Ahmad, Bruce Lee. Might get caught a bit early on. Bogdan Dinu is actually quite a quick starter. Bogdan Dinu is a good 4-round fighter. He's actually not a bad technical boxer, decent amateur pedigree. So don't be surprised if he has success early on. And maybe Dubois is a bit tentative after what happened in his last fight. But I think eventually Dubois is going to take over and knock him out in 5 or 6 rounds. Something like that. Yeah, Joyce is not a man. He's made of iron. Have you seen the size of fucking Joe Joyce's head? Ridiculous. Can you imagine? I wish I was in charge of David Price's career, man. I wish I was his matchmaker. I wish, man. Luis Ortiz versus David Price. Oh, Christ. I'd watch it. I wonder if it's him being thick. Now, Huey ain't punch drunk. He's not taken many big shots. He's just big as pig shit. He seems like a nice kid, though, Huey, sorry. He does seem like a nice kid. So I won't be too harsh on Huey Fury. Agree, Delvey needs to slow down Dubois' progress. I agree, man. I don't like the notion that this fight is for an interim title. It just adds pressure. Dubois needs learning fights. I think that's clear. I think Dinu is a perfect comeback opponent. And after that, you look at guys like Marius Wack, Christian Hammer, durable guys who can go rounds who are experienced. Those are the sort of guys, in my opinion, Dubois should be fighting in his next couple of fights. And after that, depending on how Dubois looks, then we start stepping him up again, kind of thing. But yeah, I mean, they need to steady on with Dubois. I still want to see Michael Polite Coffey versus Carlos Takam. That's a great fight there. That's a great fight. Yeah, Huey's a skillful boxer, but he lacks some essential ingredients to become elite. Yep, he's not strong, doesn't hit hard. He's not great at understanding where he's at in a contest, if that makes sense. Do you know how certain fighters know, like, how close a round is if they need to work towards the end of a round? They know exactly where they're at in the fight, kind of thing. Huey's not really got that sense, in my opinion. Huey lets too many rounds go. Dinu for 4 rounds is a Romanian Muhammad Ali. Fucking dangerous. Got to like a bit of Bogdan Dinu. Love to see Price versus Gorman. Yeah, would be a good fight. Yeah, Jerry Forrest. Yeah, another good test for Dubois. I agree. Another good test. Yeah, Dinu lacks that stamina. He's a full-round fighter, really, Dinu. Then he starts losing hope and he'll kind of go into his shell, get knocked out. But Gorman versus Wardley, good fight. I'd favour Gorman, but good fight. I don't see anything wrong with Dubois getting this interim title. It's only going to make him Mando for Trevor Bryan or Manuel Charr. Dubois smokes both for me. That's true, actually. That is true, to be fair. But still, man, the notion of having a world title still adds that pressure. Yes, indeed. Big up to Faz Majaracal. Am I saying that name right? Faz Majaracal. Am I saying that right? Maybe not, but yeah, nice one, lads. Keep it real. Salute, bro. Vitaly Klitschko versus Vladimir Putin in the matchup for Crimea. Yeah, that's boxing for you, man. Yep, Jonathan Rice. Good shout as well for Dubois. Kaladze, another guy. Yep. See, these are all good names for Dubois, man. All good names. See, I would say Bogdan Dinu, Marius Wack, Christian Hammer, guys like that, man. Jonathan Rice, Kaladze, all of these sort of guys, man. Your guess is as good as mine, Danilo. Arslanbek Makhmedov, yeah, he was supposed to fight on a Golden Boy card, but I think that card got pulled or something like that, and I've not heard nothing since. See, he was supposed to fight Nagy Aguilera, who Frank Sanchez fought. That's who he was supposed to fight, but it obviously fell through. Fall versus Eddie Hall. I mean, fuck me. Both guys are absolutely useless, man, but I'd probably go Eddie Hall, to tell you the truth. I'd probably go Eddie Hall. I don't understand those guys, man. Who would want to look like that, honestly? Dubois could always smack over Dempsey McKean. He's got a decent ranking. Yeah, that could make sense. Big boys boxing, because Dempsey McKean isn't great at all, from what I've seen. I saw his fight with Jonathan Rice at the time, and he was losing multiple rounds in that fight. He was in danger of losing that fight, from what I remember. And yeah, that would be a good shout, actually. Good shout. Yep, Makhmedov's wasting his career at Golden Boy. Yeah, he's not fought yet since he's gone there. He's not fought, so it's a shame. It's a shame. Babic versus Latte. I think Latte is going to be after that last fucking stunt he pulled against Wardley. I don't think people are going to want him back. Dubois can come again if he's trained to be a combination puncher. He was always meant to be. Maybe. Yeah, Makhmudov versus Sanchez on the Plant undercard, Canelo Plant undercard. I'd watch it. I'd take Makhmudov, but good fight. Real good fight. I still can't believe that one Kaladze knockdown, laughing my ass off. He was on Bambi legs. Yeah, it's hilarious. Tintin. Wilder knocks out Fury. The fucking fallout will be of epic proportions. Can you imagine, Mad Chad? Can you imagine? Like all the fucking like the scenes if that happens. Yeah, imagine if Wilder knocks out Fury, Joshua fights Usyk and loses. Can you imagine? Undisputed Usyk versus Wilder for all the belts. It'd be hilarious, man. Ulusanov versus Stanionis. Good fight. I'll take Stanionis, but it's a good fight. Babic versus Sakalovsky. Now, see, that's a good shout, G-Man, but like the problem is See, me and you, guys in the chat, know Sakalowski's a real good journeyman despite his record. We know he's a good test. But if you give that to the casuals, they're going to look at that guy and say, who's this bum? He's lost more than he's won. They couldn't really sell that to the casuals. They could sell it to us. We know it's a good learning fight, but yeah, it's one of those ones. I like to see it, but yeah. See, I missed that fight, Mr. Relax. I missed it. I never saw that card live, so I was going to watch it. Mark got me a stream. Unrivaled got me a fucking stream link, but I had a last-minute phone call, had to go out, so I didn't see it in the end. But I heard it was a good fight. I take Usyk over Wilder for undisputed. Can you imagine if that happened, though? That'd be hilarious. Simon Keane versus Don Hainsworth this weekend. I'm throwing $5 on Don Hainsworth at 15-1. Probably won't come off, but Keane doesn't have a best chin, so it might be worth a punt. Yeah, Simon Keane, man. That's a name I've not heard in a long while. Big Boys Boxing. Obviously, he avenged that defeat to Dylan Carmen, but I've not heard of Simon Keane in a long time. Simon Keane actually beat Tony Ioka in the 2012 Olympics. Simon Keane was a good amateur, but yeah, he's chinny, man. He's chinny. Masternak versus Siazlak in August. That's a great fight. I would take Siazlak personally, but it's a good fight. That's not gonna end in a knockout. I can tell you that much. Stanionis. I've not, from what little I've seen of that Santillan, I don't really rate him, to tell you the truth. I don't really rate him. He's the fucking Filipino guy, isn't he? If it's the guy I'm thinking of. If it's the guy I'm thinking of, I'll take Stanionis. What's your thoughts on Usyk's gain so far? He had a video on his channel recently. Yeah, 231 right now, Alexander Usyk. It looks pretty natural to me. It's not. It doesn't look forced. It doesn't look, like. It doesn't look detrimental. So it looks pretty natural to me. I think he'll be okay, Alexander Usyk. I think he'll be okay. You hit the like, you slackers. Indeed, Big Boys Boxing. Yeah, smash the fucking like, guys. Smash the fucking like. Always helps us out. Fortuna versus Garcia. Sorry, who would you pick in a Fortuna versus Garcia winner versus Madrimov Sorrow winner? Good fucking question. So, Sergio Garcia, in my opinion, beats Sebastian Fundora. And I think Michelle Sorrow beats Madrimov. Sorrow Garcia. That's a hard one for me. All of those fights are quite hard to call, but I think Sergio Garcia wins that mini tournament. I think. But it's a hard one to call. It really is. But they are both great fights, by the way. Makabu-Machunu rematch. Who do you have? Machunu lost the first fight more than Makabu won. He threw too much and gassed. Yeah, I remember that fight because he was winning the fight until he got knocked out, from what I remember. Machunu looked quite good in his last fight with Tischenko, so I'd probably lean towards Makabu again, but it's a good fight. Who do you think would have won between Briedis and Gassiev at cruiserweight? That's a hard one. I'd probably lean towards Briedis, to be honest, outboxing him, but it's a hard fight to call. I'd go Briedis. Brian Piss. I've not heard you. Listen, Brian, bro, I've not seen you for a long time, man. Garcia should fight Richard Comey next. He could get fucking knocked out in that fight, He could get fucking knocked out in that fight. Richard Comey can fucking bang. And Ryan leaves that chin right in the air, man. So that's a good fight. I'd love to see it. Does Mario Barrios have a shot versus Tank Davis? I think he's got a shot. I think it will be I think it's relatively dangerous, man. I mean, the way I look at that fight, Mad Chad, is like it's at 140, right? Tank Davis, for me, if he fights like an elite level 140 pounder, like Josh Taylor, like Prograis, like Jose Ramirez, even Mathias, I think he gets fucking squashed against the top guys at 140. Barrios isn't a top guy at 140, but he's a good fringe level contender. Is Tank Davis good enough to beat that sort of guy at 140? I'm not sure. I think it's a competitive fight. Right now, I'm not going to commit to my pick. I'm not going to commit right now, but I think it's a good fight. I think it's a good fight. Yep, Gassiev, Briedis, the fight we all wanted to see and never got. Yep, too many of those in boxing, Mark, man, too many. But would have been a great fight. Who knows, bro? Who knows, BG London? Who knows? Yeah, no, James Toney, man, would get frustrated with Deontay Wilder. He would get frustrated. Yeah, Brian, man, I do remember your name, bro. See, I don't forget you guys, man. I don't forget you guys. Been away since September 2019, laugh out loud. Are you keeping okay? Yeah, bro, I'm good, man. Where you been, Brian, man? Where you been? Hopefully you've got a lot of stories to tell us, man. But yeah, big up to Brian, man. Long time no see. Nice to see you back, man. Yeah, Comey's no mug. Haney Comey would be intriguing. Yeah, that'd be a good fight, man. Comey versus Garcia, Comey versus Haney. Yeah, man, all good fights. I'd take Comey to violently knock out Garcia. I'd be rooting for Richard Comey. Tischenko probably never faced anybody as slick and short in his amateur career. He seemed lost in there. Yeah, man, he looked so clueless, G-man. So clueless. He just got exposed, man, badly. Just when I started to like Ryan, he blatantly ducked Fortuna. Yeah, the guy's being a clown, Stephen. He's using those mental health excuses to duck out of fights. And, you know, at the same time, saying he would have knocked out fucking Devin Haney and shit. I mean, you don't want to fight Fortuna. You don't want to fight Devin Haney. You want to fight Rolly Romero. Ryan Garcia needs to sit down right now. Talented kid, don't get me wrong, but fuck, come on, man. And I actually quite respect Devin Haney for coming out and saying what he said about Ryan Garcia. He basically accused him of using mental health to alleviate responsibility and duck certain fights. And to me, that's the truth. And the reason I respect Haney for saying that is, you know, in 2021, you can't really talk about that kind of thing. You can't really critique somebody who say they've got mental health. But, you know, Devin Haney did, so I've got to respect that. I take Comey over Garcia. He catches him with his chin in the air, possibly similar to Campbell. Comey hits way harder and has killer instinct. I think it's a good fight, man. I think it's a good fight. That could be a bit of a shootout, G-Man, I think. Could be a bit of a shootout. See, this is a good fight. That's a hardcore fight, boxing learner. That's a hardcore fight. Gongora versus Andrade. Yeah, that's a good fight. That's a good fight, man. Yeah, I mean, I've been gassing Gassiev up at heavyweight for a long time, but he's just not active. Just not active, man. It's a shame. So, Will, you think he'll fight Usyk? I hope you're right, bro. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Because I think it's a great fight at the end of the day. I think it's a great test. I think it's a legacy fight for both guys. I'd love to see it, man. I'd love to see it. I think Tank is too small for 135, let alone 140. Yeah. That's why I think this fucking fight with Barrios is so good. I like the Barrios fight. I think it's a good fight. It's an interesting fight. Thoughts on Dennis Mccann? Good prospect, but a long way to go. Athletically gifted, hits pretty hard. Last couple of fights not looked quite as good, but I think those have been good learning fights for him. So we'll see where he goes, but he's a good prospect. Have you watched Vasily Levitt getting robbed again against some Indian dude? This time he put the silver medal on. Someone should try and sign him to go pro. Real good fighter. I agree. Yeah, he got robbed blind against Tischenko in 2016. See, the whole thing about 2016 was Michael Conlon, but the worst robbery for me was Tischenko versus Levitt. That was horrible. Oh, Richard Comey knocks out Luke Campbell. I think Comey knocks him out, man. I really do. Yes, big up to Boundless. Big up to Boundless, man. Oh, I've got Beterbiev. Talk boxing. I've got Beterbiev. Marcus Brown hasn't been active enough for a start. Got knocked out by Jean Pascal. Marcus Brown is too hit and miss, man. He's hot and cold. He's actually a talented fighter, but he never puts it all together. So I've got to go with Beterbiev. What do you think of upcoming featherweight prospect? Never heard of him. I see what you did there, J-Dev. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. Yeah, exactly, bro. See, that's what I'm saying. If he vacates, it's a duck. Hopefully he doesn't, and we get a great fight. Exactly, bro. Oh, shit, Brian, man. Got sent away for a crime I didn't commit. Served 20 months of a 4-year sentence, man. Jesus Christ. Now, hopefully you are enjoying the free world again, Brian, man. But big up to Brian, man. Glad to have you back, bro. See, look at Brian, man. See, this is a fucking absolute fucking G, absolute soldier, yeah? Comes out of prison, yeah? Not a scratch on him, looking like the man. And he comes by and drops by the old live stream. What a lad, man. Big up to Brian. Salute to Brian, man. Salute to Brian. Oh, my days, yeah. Jason Quigley, G-Man, I've got no interest in that guy whatsoever. Again, he's one of those guys, man, good amateur, but just not turned over successfully as a pro. Andrade fucking smokes him, man. And yeah, I'd prefer Chris Eubank Jr. against Andrade. No, I quite rate Justice Haney from what I've seen. Big Boys Boxing. I quite like what I see. I like to see a heavyweight that works the body, which he does. I've seen him switch between stances, you know, decent combination puncher, relatively aggressive, good punch variety. I mean, I like that fight, man. I like that fight. Sorry, I like him as a fighter, sorry, I should say. My mate Lewis got a big fight next Saturday. He's training back with Dave. Lewis Ritson, yeah. Lewis Ritson's fighting Ponce, yeah, Argentinian. Haney just went 10 rounds last week and has the Gallon fight in 2 weeks. I think he'll be okay. I think he'll be okay, man. Marcus Brown, athletic, but he seems to be very fearful of getting hit. Even before the Pascal fight, he's got the jitters, and I think he's chinny. He's also quite dirty. Yeah, I think that fight with Hot Rod Kolajic kind of put doubt in his mind. He got dropped in that fight way back when, and I think after that he was never really sold on himself. He wasn't all that confident, and you can see that in his style. No, I'm not a fan of Rancis Barthélemy. I think the thing is with Ryan Garcia, Will, you can't on one hand say, oh, I've got mental health issues, I need to pull out of this fight. As soon as Fortuna finds another fight, he starts piping up, saying what he would do to Devin Haney or knock you out, blah, blah, blah. I mean, first and foremost, Ryan Garcia ducked Linares. He ducked Fortuna. He ducked Devin Haney. If you can talk shit, man, you can get it back. That's how I see it. Like, just because Ryan said he's got these issues, which haven't been medically proven, by the way. If he can, he's still talking shit, man. So he should get it back, as far as I'm concerned. You can't talk shit and then use that as a shield for criticism. What Devin Haney said, in my opinion, was exactly right, 100% right. Until Ryan shows me some medical fucking statements, I mean, who are we to believe him? Maybe he's fucking lying, kind of thing. Maybe he's lying. Who knows? I mean, why would you want to become an interim champion, not to fight the full champion, Devin Haney? The guy's talking too much, man. And you can't talk so much and then not expect it back, man. Honestly, like, Ryan needs to fight, man. Ryan's a good, talented fighter, a lot of athletic ability. He hits hard, fast. He can give guys he can give guys a lot of problems, man. He's a problem, but enough of the talking, man. Enough of the talking. Again, you can't talk shit on all these guys and then alleviate responsibility by saying, oh, I'm feeling sad. It's the fight game, man. It's the fight game. Come on, man. Yes, big up to Liam. Salute to Liam, man. Pascal fucked up Brown. He did, man. Marius Dominique. This is a funny one, man. Wildest King, AJ in the mud. Debate me, bruh. If you notice, though, like I go from a Joshua fanboy to a Joshua hater to a Fury fanboy to a Fury hater. Fucking crazy, man. Big up to Marius. Big up to Marius, man. Yeah. Exactly, because he isn't acting like it's a real issue. Exactly, Stephen. Indeed. I think it's... I don't really care for the fight talk boxing. I don't really care for it. Joe Smith Jr. should be fighting Beterbiev. Simple as that. Unification fight. That's the fight to make. Not Danny Jacobs, a former middleweight. I mean, if Eddie Hearn wants to match Danny Jacobs with any light heavyweight, it should be Bivol, Eddie Hearn's fighter, not Beterbiev. Don't stand in the way of Beterbiev, Joe Smith Jr. What's the point? What's the point, honestly? Some fighters get that mental block when tagged up. Let's hope Dubois doesn't have it. We'll find out in the first 4 this weekend, yeah. That's the thing. That's why I like the Fight Big Boys boxing, because Bogdan Dinu does start quite quick. He'll actually throw a few shots. He comes out quite quick, so I think you could get those questions answered. Now, they're just bot accounts, Liam, man. They're just bot accounts. Exactly, Del. Only after Fortuna gets a new opponent in Diaz, Ryan starts talking shit right after he pulled out of a fight. Who knows if the dude has mental problems or not? Exactly. And listen, even if you do have some sort of issues like that, it still doesn't alleviate yourself of responsibility. You can't use that as a get-out-of-jail-free card for everything you do wrong. And that's the trap a lot of people are falling into in 2021. Like, it's the convenient way to get out of responsibility for a lot of people, because people can't challenge it. We've been conditioned not to challenge it, kind of thing. So, listen, Ryan Garcia, listen, at the end of the day, I don't know whether this guy is suffering at all. I don't know, but it's not a good look, man. It's not a good look. People were quite intrigued about the Fortuna fight. People saw it as the hardest fight of his career. Pulls out due to the reasons he stated. Lo and behold, like 2 weeks later, Devin Haney, his rival, fights the guy he fucking ducked in Jorge Linares, wins most of the rounds, looks pretty good in my opinion. And then Ryan Garcia is talking shit, oh, I'll knock you out, blah, blah, blah. If that was me who caught you with those shots, you'd be sleeping. I mean, it's an embarrassment, man. Absolute embarrassment. Why not fight the guy? Why not fight him? But yeah, like G-Man says, the woke party won't let you say a bad word about Paul Ryan. Exactly, man. The guy's a multi-millionaire. Like, guy's got fucking sponsorships out of his ass. Looks like $1 million. I mean, I think Ryan's okay. Personally, I think he's okay. I just think he's playing a game right now. I think he's playing a game. And I can't lie, you know, Devin Haney's starting to grow on me. He's starting to grow on me. $80, charity of your choice. The obesity clinic of fat girls. Price fucked up, Alan. He did. I got into it with Joe Smith Jr.'s trainer on Instagram when I said Joe maybe needs a retooling and maybe a new coach. Joe's in deep trouble. I agree, Revolution. Big up to Revolution, by the way. Nice to see you, bro. Hopefully your training's going well. Not going to lie, bro. I think Linares would have slept Garcia. Linares looked good against Haney. Yeah, I mean, would Ryan Garcia have taken those that combination that Devin Haney took in round 10? I'm not convinced. I think Linares hits a bit harder than Luke Campbell. I mean, he used it as an excuse for pulling out of that fight with Fortuna. And all of a sudden, a week later, he's on the mend where he's talking shit about Devin Haney and all the likes like that, you know? And again, I mean, there's been no medical statement released to the public about this whole mental illness. So we don't know whether it's true or not. At the end of the day, all I know is track record. Ryan Garcia has ducked Javier Fortuna. Fact. He ducked Jorge Linares and he's ducked Devin Haney. And he's talking shit about these guys in the process. So, I mean, right now he's looking like it's looking bad for him, man. He needs to fight one of these guys. He's the interim champion. Devin Haney's the full champion. Make a fight happen. Make it happen. Exactly. And again, I'm not sitting here saying it's not real. Of course it's fucking real, but like, I don't care what anybody says. It's overdiagnosed, man. I think a lot of people in 2021 are just emotionally incontinent, to tell you the truth. That's how I feel about the whole situation. I mean, do you think you hear kids in Palestine fucking cry about depression? No, they got bigger fucking problems. It's just it's a first world problem, man. That's what it is. In my opinion, that's what it is. But maybe I'm going to get fucking cancelled, man. I'm going to get cancelled. And again, everyone has their down days, but it's not. It is what it is, man. You just got to deal with it. Move on, man. Yeah, I like Ryan, but he needs to stop with the attitude. Dave Allen versus anybody who's a massive puncher. I want to see it. Wilder, man. Wilder. His speed, power, and the atmosphere at his fights are awesome. Exactly, man. Ryan brings a lot to the table. There's no doubt about it. He's exciting. He's dangerous. He hits hard. He brings a new demographic to the sport. He could be great for boxing, but right now he's not. If you're ducking fights, you're pulling out, you're saying you'll do this, do that, and do and the other, and don't do anything. He's not good for boxing right now, man. He's just fucking about, man. I can't get behind a guy like that. I can't. I think Ryan Garcia is a bell end personally. I just think he's spoilt, man. I think he's very spoilt. I mean, he's got a massive contract, and fair play to him. He's built his brand right. He deserves credit for that. But he's got a massive contract without really doing any work, like building a resume kind of thing. Like certain fighters had to win multiple world titles before getting paid the money Ryan Garcia is getting paid. I think Ryan Garcia is just a little entitled kind of thing. I think that's really his problem. Too much too soon. And I don't think he's really serious about boxing like that. I think he's more serious about making his money outside of boxing, because Ryan Garcia doesn't have to fight at the end of the day. He can do Instagram shoots and do sponsorship things and things like that. He can do that. He doesn't have to fight. And I think that shows through in his career. I think that shows through. Thoughts on Haney's performance? I thought it was good. Could have been better, though. Finally, we know about Haney's punch resistance. And in my opinion, he's got an average chin. Not bad, but nothing special. I mean, I thought I marked it 7.5 out of 10. I thought Devin Haney. I thought Haney looked really good in the first 6 rounds. I thought he was boxing really well, managing the distance, keeping Linares at range, varying the jab from body to head. I thought he was looking really good in the first 6 rounds. Sorry. After the 6th round, I felt Haney got a bit too comfortable and started to apply pressure, which he's not as good at. He's not as good at applying pressure as he is at boxing from range. So he started to apply pressure, took a few more risks. He got caught, didn't look as good. And yeah, second half of that fight wasn't as good for Devin Haney. But overall, I felt he looked okay, to tell you the truth. I thought he did okay. And in terms of his chin, he got caught, he got hurt, definitely. But he got through it at the end of the day. And like I said, there's a lot of lightweights who would have got dropped by that combination and maybe even got knocked out. So I think Haney's chin's okay. And I still think Devin Haney gives Teofimo Lopez a super hard fight. I really do. But there you go. We'll see, man. Justin Bieber with big power. I reckon that Haney would have the better of Garcia. I think Haney would catch him with an uppercut and put him on his ass. I think Haney beats Garcia. See, the thing is with Ryan Garcia and Teofimo, they are very fast, quick off a draw punchers. Very explosive, but I think if you make Teofimo and Ryan Garcia take the lead and box from range, make these guys be the aggressors and don't go onto them, they're going to struggle. If you make Teofimo take the lead and make him be the aggressor, I don't think he's as effective. And I think stylistically, Devin Haney gives both of those guys a real hard fight. I really do. I'm not a big fan of female boxing, talk boxing, to tell you the truth, so I couldn't really say. I've not really seen too much of either fighter. Poor Ryan Garcia. I still think Haney beats Ryan. I think Ryan hits way harder than Linares. The only people who hit harder than Ryan are Comey and Teofimo. I'd say Ryan hits harder than Linares. I would say that, yeah. I would say that. Yeah, people just follow the herd, and it's seen as brilliant to speak up and say you've got mental health. Most people are just saying it because they want the attention. People who are depressed, it's usually their own fault. Shit they put in their bodies, got no time for it. Yeah. See, it's your mind or your brain's way, I guess, of telling you that something in your life is not what it should be, whether it be diet, whether it be substance abuse, whether it be where you are in life in general. I think it's a natural reaction to where you are in that present time in life. It should be a motivator to change something in your life. But, people just like to dwell in it and use it as an excuse not to try and get better. There was some guy actually on Twitter who basically had that sort of theory that depression isn't real. Like, the feeling depressed is real, but like I said, essentially it's just your mind's reaction or your mind's way of telling you that you need to change something in your life, and it should be motivation. But you can't say things like that because feelings and all that. See, I could go to the fucking GPs tomorrow and say I'm depressed, and I could get fucking prescribed medication. That's how easy it is in the UK to get medication. I'm not even exaggerating. It's overprescribed. It's overdiagnosed. In my opinion, I remember 2 years ago, my mate died, and his ex from years back went to the funeral all crocodile tears, and was so unhappy when his current girlfriend came because she was taking the attention off her. Yeah. It's a currency to some people. If you notice the difference between the amount Garcia talks about mental health and the way Fury talks about mental health, Garcia doesn't actually talk about it as much at all. See, I don't really listen to Ryan Garcia interviews. I've got to be honest, bro. I don't really listen to him, so I can't really comment on that. But I've said that about Fury as well, man. It's just a fucking PR game, man. It's just a selling point. People are going to buy into it in 2021, so... Exactly, bro. And that's the main thing, really, when it comes to Ryan Garcia. Like I say, he avoided Linares, he's ducked Fortuna, and he's ducked Devin Haney. Josh Taylor whoops a lot of them. I mean, he could be the greatest female boxer of all time, Danilo, if that happens. Ryan smokes a lot of weed, and some people just can't handle the weed, indeed. Indeed. With all due respect, I think a lot of you don't know what you're talking about with this, and in my experience, it's best not to go on and talk about things you don't know about. I mean, we've all got our opinions, man. I mean, you got to do what works for you, and my way works for me personally. That's all I can really say. I mean, it is what it is. It's one of those things, man. It's one of those things. Yeah. Certain people are making money out of it, put it that way. Mayweather fights cause depression. Oh, Christ. It was disgusting how the mainstream boxing journalists were defending Ryan, most probably scared to be refused the interviews for the future. Exactly, bro. I mean, what has this sport become, man? Honestly, what has this sport become? Crazy shit, man. I actually thought Haney versus Linares was a very good fight. Atmosphere was decent too. I thought it was okay, man. I enjoyed it for what it was. The only thing I didn't like really was when Haney got hurt in the last couple of rounds. He was holding too much, but apart from that, it was a good fight. Show me one depressed animal or human in nature. There you go. Fight film. Yeah, Big Pharma and the left love depression. Yeah. I remember this whole thing of opening up and speaking out, yeah. I remember being very young. That whole thing was preached to us when I was young as well. So I'm 27 now. And even when I was at school, the whole thing that you should open up, boys don't cry. Sorry, boys can cry. You should open up, blah, blah, blah. I always remember, I'm talking when I was a fucking kid. Like when I used to open up to people, I used to feel like a piece of shit afterwards, man. I used to feel like a fucking piece of shit when I used to open up, and that it used to make me feel weak and just, like I give up a part of myself kind of thing. And I felt that way as a kid, man. I just don't believe that, like, the mainstream narrative, what they tell us about mental health, particularly from a man's perspective. I mean, I don't think it's hard to put into words what I want to say, but I got my own way of dealing with shit, and it works, man. It works, so that's all I can really say. Euro 2021, I would say France, to be honest with you, apology. I'd say France. I think they have a safe bet right now. As much as I'd like to say England, but I'd say France. Exactly, G-Man. Drive-through pharmacies here in the USA. Brian Garcia's been watching too many Huey Fury fights. Oh, dear. Yeah, it's funny how Fury's mental health problems never appear when fighting a bum or passing a drug test. Fake as fuck. Yeah, of course, man. It's different experiences like that. It's different experiences. Like, it can depend on circumstances. Over lockdown, I got very depressed, but that's because I was isolated. I don't get how Garcia can be so depressed in his position in life, shaking my head. Yeah, and like the whole thing with lockdown for me, at the start, obviously, I was bummed out. I was kind of disgusted with the people around me to a certain extent. But at the end of the day, the whole lockdown thing, Rona, as sinister as I think it is, it's been a bit of a godsend for me. I think Rona, especially living in a Western country, has been the greatest education that I could have hoped for, because it made me evaluate who is around me, who I can trust, who's worth keeping around, and certain aspects of my life that I needed to change. And I did that through lockdown. So you got to take a rough with a smooth at the end of the day, kind of thing. You know what I mean? You got to make the best out of a bad situation, and that's the way you move forwards. But yeah, all in all, I can see why lockdown fucked up a lot of people. No doubt about it. Never tell another person about your problems. 50% don't care, and the other half are glad you have them. Yep, George Foreman, great quote. Yep. And I wouldn't hang around with people who are always talking about their problems. You know how some people have like a fetish of like talking about bad shit. Like every time you see them, oh, this bad thing happened to me, that bad thing happened to me. I feel like this, I feel like that. If you hang around with those people too much, man, you get drawn into that same negative energy, man. Just can't deal with these people. Nature, bro. Nordic. Nature. Maximize your testosterone naturally. You can destroy the depression and anxiety. No Vaseline. Agreed, Del. I'm 46 and it never existed when I was a kid. We just got a clip round the ear for moaning. Yep. I think people are just so fucking ungrateful, man, in this country and like Western countries. Could be so much worse. What people endure in the world, in certain countries, man, there's no reason to be depressed. Go play outside, fucking hell. Big up to Mad Chad. And again, this is just my opinion at the end of the day. Just my opinion. So we're all free to share our own opinion. So and again, I'm not saying it's not real, by the way. I'm not saying it's not real. All my point is, I think a lot of it is just I think a lot of it has been wildly overdiagnosed. I think a lot of people are over-medicated. And yeah, I think a lot of people do use it as a built-in excuse to evade personal responsibility. That's all my point is. I'm sure, well, I know there's plenty of people out there who have genuine problems, no doubt about it. But I think now at this point, mental health is becoming almost like fetishized by certain people. People are monetarily gaining off mental health now, kind of thing. Like it's people are using it as a fucking promotional tool and shit like that. Nah. Every man is different. That's true. That's true, Champion Killer. We've all got our own way of dealing with things, but I was diagnosed with OCD and anxiety when I was 16, 17, and it's hills and valleys for me at least. Sometimes it comes on much worse than other times, and other times it's very bad during COVID for me. Yeah, I think COVID in general for a lot of people, just even people who don't really have any back history, you know, kind of it knocked them for six as well. I think it was just one of those things, man. But I hear what you're saying, Will. I hear what you're saying. What do you think of Wilder accusing Fury of white privilege? And am I not to be under the illusion that it was Wilder who gave Tyson Fury the opportunity whilst Dillian White was sidelined? Exactly, Unrivaled, man. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's just selling tactics. They want to go super controversial, super degenerate. That's what they're going to do to sell that fight. It's going to be pure degeneracy. Drive-through pharmacy. What can I order? A Big Mac with a side of Xanax. Some men elite she, some men needy. Sorry, yeah. Some men elite she, some men are needy. Self-destructive, selfish. Then there's the rest of you. I pay the twerking clown. For fuck's sake. Listen, man, I'm going to take that fight for what it is, man. Fury Wilder. I'll enjoy it for what it is. Either Tyson Fury gets fucking knocked out, which I doubt, or Wilder gets beat up again. Either way, I don't really like either guy, so I could care less who wins. I could really care less. I'm going to enjoy it for what it is. Yeah, had to be done, man. Had to be done. Because I'm a guy who likes to procrastinate a lot. I'll always put things off, kind of thing. But it kind of forced me to really evaluate certain things, and it's more so certain people, more so than anything. But definitely better off for it. Definitely better off for it. So. Yeah, we're all fucked. So, yeah, we're all fucked some way or another. Man up. And again, that phrase these days is a controversial fucking phrase. Man up. Boys don't cry. See, stoicism. There's nothing wrong with being stoic. There's nothing wrong with stoicism. Yeah, I was in that stream, Mad Chad, man. I was in that stream, bro. Hopefully you're good, bro. Comedy and fresh air outside, best answer to depressing feelings, in my opinion. Nobody is mentally invulnerable, but I think we need to teach mental toughness. Yeah, I do believe anybody's threshold can be greatly increased, man. Particularly in this generation, when the bar is so low anyway. I think a lot of people can toughen up mentally. Like, I mean, I'm 27, yeah? And it's just like, it sounds super fucking arrogant. And if it sounds that way, it is what it is. But a lot of people my age, I don't even feel like I can have a conversation with them. I don't feel like I'm on the same wavelength. I feel like I was born in the wrong generation kind of thing, half the time. Like, whether it be, let's say it's a political conversation. Like, you can't have those conversations in my age range without fucking traumatizing somebody or fucking, you know what I mean? Like, you can't agree to disagree and move on. Comedy is great for it too. I can see the funny side of a lot of things. Tony Bellew makes me depressed. Yeah, that's how they're going to sell the third fight, Bump of K, of Race War, man. And certain people are going to buy into it, man. I'm just going to sit back and laugh at the degeneracy of that third fight. And like I said, I could care less who wins. Not a fan of Wilder, not a fan of Fury. Don't really care. Yeah, I'll watch the fight, but with all the BS that has gone on between Fury and Wilder in the last year, I'll be switching off until fight night. Yeah. Yeah, laughter's the best medicine, best read in the Reader's Digest. Exactly, bro. It's the simple things, Mad Chad. Like last weekend, so didn't do much last weekend. All I did was went out with with the lads, got a few beers, sat around like a garden fire, you know, like a fire pit. Sat around a fire pit, talking shit, just having a few beers. Great night, just laughs, good vibes. Because it was something about that supernatural, sitting around a fire, talking, just shooting a shit, man. It's stuff like that that's the most precious in life for me personally. I'm not really a materialistic person per se. I'm not really like that, but it's for simple things for me. Best remedy for depression is rooting. Facts. Mainstream agenda for men is to make them emotional, not rational choices, decisions, makes them easier for elites to control. Yeah. So essentially, yeah, they would like, well, yeah, they want to breed out the warriors in society, right? Because if men are feminized, obviously the population is easier to control. I mean, look at the testosterone levels since like the 50s, decade on decade, dropping, decade by decade, dropping considerably. Don't you think that's got a problem? Sorry, don't you think that has an effect on men's mental health? For continuous drop in testosterone, decade by decade. I mean, when somebody's more like, we could talk about this all night, man, but yeah, in school we used to say stuff like, I rubber, you glue, whatever you bounces off me and sticks to you. Looking back, they were actually teaching us to be mentally tough. Yeah. I watched the George Foreman and Floyd documentaries today. We are fucked with snowflakes. Yep. And again, I think it's by design, by the powers that be. They want to feminize men or make them weaker. Because, I mean, look what's going on now in the West. Like with lockdowns and private businesses being shut and things like that, people's livelihood being stolen from them. Do you think they could have got away with that in the 50s, for example? Or do you think men would have rioted? Like, they're just slowly eroding just fucking manhood, in my opinion. But yeah, there's very few people Nordic in my age range. I feel I can talk to, honestly. Fuck's sake. Just not my thing, bro. I just can't get into it. Doesn't seem natural to me. I can't explain it. It just doesn't seem right, man. I don't like it. Got a feeling we're going to see Wilder Fury 4 and 5. I lived a happy life before I started hearing people talk about depression. Now I think I'm depressed. Yeah, the UK's the same, Mad Chad, bro. The UK's exactly the same. Becoming pussified, genderless, charming, soft, emotional, drugged up shithole. I think it will get banned. I think it will get banned, Nordic, honestly. I think it will get banned. And again, it's not out of a place of vitriol or hate or anything like that, but I just think a lot of guys are just fucking up, man. They're following the wrong advice, man. I think they'll do well to look at alternative avenues to improve themselves. Now, he's free to say what he wants, Wizard Sleeve, man. He's free to say what he wants. If that's his opinion, that's his opinion. I'm just saying my opinion. I'm not gonna fucking censor anybody. Yeah, mental health is real, but today it gets thrown around left and right and center. You have a bad week. Oh, I must have mental health. Yeah. Like, again, there's a difference between like situational depression and like manic depression or schizophrenia or something like that, you know, like a genuine mental health condition. Like, everybody has situational depression or has had it. Like, something bad happened, you get sad, you move on, kind of thing. That's not depression. It's not depression kind of thing, but it is what it is. Price versus depression. Fucking hell. See, what now? Watching David Price knockouts, that cures depression. Come on now. Just stick a David Price highlight reel on, man. You'll be fucking laughing. Yeah, I was the same as a young kid, DW. Opening up to people always made me feel worse too, bro. Exercising, eating healthy, having a goal is the key to combat depression in my experience. Yeah, exactly, CM Fox. Oh, you're from Canada. You're from Canada, Tintin. Nice, yeah. I'm not surprised. Yeah, hello, my friend. Yeah, big up to official, man. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. I've got an early start tomorrow. I've got to work. So, yeah, I'm going to wrap this one up. Not too much boxing this weekend, so probably going to be a quiet one for me. So, yeah, have a good weekend, guys, if I don't speak to you since then. So, yeah, thanks for showing out. Smash the like if you could. Peace.